Hey, also, John, though, while I've got you, I also want to talk about, all of these attacks on Donald Trump for their moves to have another census, perhaps, redraw congressional districts so that they don't just, create these sort of racially based gerrymanders and all of that sort of thing. Yet, James Carville, the legendary Democrat advisor who basically foisted Bill Clinton on the world, well, he's called on Democrats to save democracy by essentially rigging the system. Have a listen to this.
The Democrats win the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2028, which is not impossible. I don't know if you say likely or possible. I don't know what word but it's certainly not impossible. They are just going to have to unilaterally add Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia states. They're going to have to, the Constitution gives Congress power over federal elections. I don't think they can redistrict, but they're things they go do. They're going to have to do it. They're just going to have to do it. And they may have to expand the court to 13 members.
So to translate from the Cajun there, he was basically talking about, packing the Supreme Court, adding Democrat states. It seems like our democracy is one of those things that really only runs one way, John.
James, you have to understand the Democrats' lexicon. Democracy is when a Democrat wins an election. A threat to democracy is when a Democrat loses an election. So, in the run-up to the 2024 election, think about this. They repeatedly tried to put Donald Trump in prison on the most absurd charges imaginable in numerous states. Wherever they had the power, they tried to actually keep him off the ballot for the 2024 election. But they don't consider those things a threat to democracy because they help the Democrats to win. And we've been hearing this about adding more states and packing the Supreme Court with new justices and so on for some years now. And to be honest, James, I really believe that if the Democrats did control the House and the Senate and the presidency in 2028, they would probably do those things.
And what is your reaction, John, as a lawyer, just to the idea that that the census really should be redone because it has included illegal aliens who I don't think the founders really anticipated being counted for the purposes of apportionment?
Well, the founders never imagined that we could have, 15, 20 million illegal aliens living in this country. I actually wrote a long analysis of this issue on Powerline earlier today. The short version, James, is that I think the way the Constitution is worded, referring to all persons, not citizens, but persons, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to legally exclude illegals from the census and therefore from part of congressional apportionment. That's what the issue really is. I think what we need to do is get as many as possible of those illegal aliens out of the country so that issue doesn't arise. Any census, this would be a mid-decennial census. It would really be unofficial. It could not be used under the law to reapportion congressional seats in 2026. You hear a lot of commentary, a lot of Democrats going crazy about that. No, that isn't possible. What is possible is to take a census that would reflect how many people are in America who are not illegal aliens and where do they live and what would our Congress look like and what would our Electoral College look like if only those people were being counted. And I see that really as a political move to keep the focus on these issues as opposed to a legal gambit.
Fair enough, John. Sounds like it's a very long game that they're playing. Thank you so much for your time.